Alright, this is the male counterpart to the female for the crystal ball at the top of the door handles. And I started this a couple of days ago, didn't get very far because I just lost. I guess it was a combination of a lot of things. I just wasn't in the mood for it. Worried about my van, the inability to get around. You sort of feel like your life changes, and you're just trying to catch up with it. And but got to Bozeman yesterday, like you saw in yesterday's video, and I was able to find out that my van is being worked on and will be finished by next week. And my son Jason, who lives in Salt Lake City, will probably pick it up and bring it up, and then I'll send him back on a Greyhound bus. But that will be next week sometime. That means I'll be without a vehicle for about another week, but that's fine. Better than 3 weeks or 2 weeks. And I'm not going to complain. I've learned to live without a vehicle for a little while. True. I just got a Blu-ray movie of, or copy of Dances with Wolves. There's an actor in it by the name of Rodney Grant who played the Fierce Warrior, and a friend of, eventually the friend of Kevin Costner in the movie. And I just love his face. It's got such great features, and I like to use this face as a example of a warrior's face. I also got some pictures of some of the other warriors in the picture, in the movie, and but you just got to admit that that's a great face. And so what I've done is I've taken it a picture of it where he's around the campfire. It shows the shadows on his face, and that helps me to see the shape of the mouth and the face and the upper lip and all that stuff, and that's really good for sculpting. This side picture shows a lot of features, and I turned it black and white because you can see the features better in black and white than you can in color. Sorry, allergies. Also, this is where he has just tasted the sugar and he's starting to get a little smile on his face, and I kind of like that look. Now here he has his eyes turned almost exactly the way I'm going to have his eyes turned in the sculpture. Now, I use Rodney Grant's face as just a example of how I want my face to go. I don't try to make an exact portrait of Rodney Grant. Now, the thing I need to remember while I'm working on this is to make this gentleman look young and as good looking as I can. So that's what I've got to concentrate on while I'm working on this. Now I'm going to extend out the cheek a little bit here. If you notice, this little area right here, it extends down and then it kind of drops down. Let's see if I can show a better picture of that. You can sort of see it here, and it comes down off the nose and the little fatty area right here. You can see it right there too. And so that's what I'm going to try to reproduce. That's all a sculptor is, or a painter is doing, is reproducing something they've experienced or seen in life. And that's all I'm doing here, is just putting in here my life experience as far as faces go. You need to constantly evaluate your facial features and try to even them out. And so you just got to be careful not to idealize, and what you're trying to do is make it look like somebody who could actually talk. Okay, I'm going to try to build up this lip now. The mouth has a certain structure to it, and I'm going to try to get that. I'm going to try to get him to where he's smiling just a little bit. Stick it up inside the mouth, and I push out. As you can see right there. It's a little trick I do once in a while. Boy, the pot roast smells so good right now. What I do is I slow cook it in a crock pot, and I put the pot roast in. I do the seasoning and all that stuff, and then I throw in about 3 cans of consomme, beef consomme, to get it going. And boy, I tell you, that smells so good, and it's so delicious when it's done. It just literally falls apart. I'm not certain I'm going to keep this face. I may just end up tearing it apart. I want to check something real quick. What I want to do is put her face. See, now look, that's a big difference in size. Let me see if I can get it around here so you can see. You see the difference in size when I point the nose there? And I've got to change that because I can't have his head bigger than her head. And so I'm going to mark that and that. So I'm going to have to tear the head apart. Now that just makes my day. I saw that. I've been looking at it for about the last 10 minutes trying to figure out what is wrong with this face. Now I know. Alright, well, only one thing to do, just start again. So, let's take that face out. Okay, now I'm going to point up the face again, and bottom of chin will go right there, and top of the head will go right there. All right. It's got to be the same size. It can't be different. I want to cut my hand off. always got to be willing to tear it apart. If it ain't working, it's got to tear. You got to just tear it apart. So now, I'll reshape the head a little bit. This one's not sticking to the ball as well as I like it to. We'll work around that. Alright, now let me double check. Much closer. See? I don't know if you can even see it. I got it. Alright, now you can see that the face matches the length of the face of the lady. So now I've got something to go by, and I'm going to get back to it here. See, it always pays to go away and come back. All right. Now just get the center. Like I've said before, I always start with the eye sockets. All right, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll get back on this on Saturday, because I've missed a couple of days this week sculpting, and see if I can't do something with this face tomorrow. I feel better about it. All right, that's going to be it for today.